Your family isn't as significant as the Lord's family. You hear me? Let me get on with my topic. Many people believe, especially in this generation, in this wicked and perverse generation, that their family, their particular family structure and how it's developed and how it plays out is precisely how it's supposed to be. Even to the point of it being totally against biblical precepts. Let me start by saying this, and many of you have heard this before. A man will, or a person, a woman, a man or a woman will leave their mother and father, and they will cling to another person. Those two people will become one flesh. Leave your mother and father and cling to this other person. Allow you and that person to become one flesh. Then that starts another family. Who can tell me if they've ever heard this before? Jesus said, I didn't come to bring peace, but a sword. I come to put a man in opposition with his family members. I come to bring a wedge or division between mother-in-law and son-in-law, father-in-law and daughter-in-law. You guys ever heard that before? I bet you guys didn't know, or some of you probably have forgotten about that Jesus even said anything like that. Your family, you deem your bloodline or whatever, is not more important than Jesus' family. You hear me? I've recently had to, and let me share this with you. I've recently had to not allow my son to be around my wife's family, namely her parents or anybody else who doesn't agree with my principles. You hear me? I may say that more than one time in this video. You hear me? Let me ask you a question. Would you allow men or women that are hearing me right now, would you allow your child, man or woman, would you allow your child to be around anybody who is in opposition or opposes the way you believe? Would you allow that? I don't think you would. And nor will I. You know, in the last days, people will heap unto themselves teachers having itching ears. They want things to be glossed over. Now, this has been going on a long time, actually, but in the last days, it's going to be even more prevalent. But again, this has been going on thousands of years when it comes to false teachers, false prophets, people who just smooth things over and say things that, you know, just so they themselves will not be marginalized or ostracized. Let me tell you something. In order to, you have to be very, very courageous to speak the unadulterated truth, because people will not like you for it. They'll think you're being too harsh or too strong with your words. Please, Darren, calm down. Don't say that. It's punk. How much time I have? getting close. My videos are getting a little bit longer and longer, so I'm gonna cut this one off right here. I don't like making long videos on these particular topics. I like hitting it and going. Hitting the topic and then just moving on. You don't need me rambling on about these topics. If you do, then it's because you're hard-hearted. I'm gonna close with this. You must be born again. Not go to church. That's not being born again. You know, I had somebody tell me that they knew somebody that was raised up in the Word of God. Guess what they were actually saying? They went to church all their life. Listen here, punk. Being raised up in the admonition of the Lord, being trained and discipled in the words of in biblical principles and precepts is not the same as I went to church all my life. You don't get that in church. Unbelievable. But this is the nature of Christendom these days. This is the nature of the world. This is the system. God bless you, each and every one of you. I'll talk to you next time.